This device seems to be timing something, counting upwards, and the numbers I pressed seem to have done something.
Hello?
Uh, Oh, it
I
even talked. Wow, this device, this whatever this is just amazing.
this we're on a phone call. Hello?
On a phone call?
I assume you have a phone in your hand or some square thing?
So that's what this thing is called. A
Yeah,
phone.
it's called a phone.
Odd. I was fiddling around, saying what else was on here, saying what else could be done with this thing, and it has various selection of different
There's
buttons and
there's
such.
things called apps and you can do multiple different things, I guess. Is this like your first phone, I guess?
I'm assuming so, seeing as I've never really had a phone in the Nether, in my home.
I don't think they make those too much there, but they still work in there sometimes, I think.
Hmm.
So I guess it makes sense since sometimes they break easily in there.
I mean, with
I,
how small this is, I wouldn't blame it for being so broken so easily, if it was broken at all.
it helps when you have like just put like. Does your phone have like a case that makes it easier to protect it?
A case.
Like say like if like it's a type of armor, but it's just for your phone to make sure it doesn't break into shriveled little pieces.
Ah, well, no, actually, I don't think it does. This whatever was this phone that I had found, just basically lying upon the ground. It's just
It's odd.
it,
It is
it,
a
it had
phone.
no protection. It had nothing.
Oh, that's
Maybe
odd.
maybe the next chance I get, I should just add in some little. I should give it a gold casing. That way, it's at least stylish.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe, maybe. But enough about the phone itself. I have to wonder what kind of voice comes from a phone like this. Like,
Well, I have a phone, and that's how I'm speaking to you.
that does make more sense, I suppose.
Like some phones can talk, I think, but I'm not sure.
I assumed all phones could talk, seeing as, well, the very first thing I heard after typing in a bunch of numbers was, well, a voice telling me hello.
I think you did a.
Which
It's like a. I think you did like. The thing you click on have like an odd shaping, usually with green and white.
I I believe it does.
That's a symbol for like a phone call.
I
Like
say.
there's multiple I guess like you type in numbers for like it's like the other phones like other things, so you can talk to someone if you want.
Very interesting.
And also
Very
there's
interesting.
there's texting where you just like it's like messaging with birds or mail but faster.
Wow. This place really does have a lot more than where my home was. It's baffling. It's truly just astounding even. I
That's cool.
I'm apologies. I personally just wish I wish I knew exactly what this all is. It's
Um,
just simply it's it's simply just confusing to me, like how such a small little thing like this can hold so much power,
it
so much
took many years of people trying to figure out things and testing things to make it as many things like an airplane.
airplane.
Basically, like imagine if let me think. Like if you had like say if like those like many people in like a small compartment, but then that compartment can you can make it like if you have magic to like make it fly, but it wasn't magic and well sometimes magic, but like with electricity and stuff, and you can fly into the air to like multiple destinations.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if I didn't
I
explain it good.
I totally get it. I don't really get it. I
Maybe you can
don't.
probably look it up on your phone if you need to of what it looks like. Just looks up. Just
Look
look type airplane.
look up something.
Like it's like a search
maybe
bar. It's a search
oh,
with a thing.
maybe I'll start getting more and more familiar with this phone. Thank you for informing me of all this
You're
information.
welcome. If I guess you have any more questions about it all, you can just call me again because it usually saves phone numbers to make it easier since I'm assuming you accidentally typed it. So I
Well,
guess
seeing as this is pretty much the only number I've typed, I'm certain that you'll probably be the only person I'll likely talk to on this phone.
avoid scam calls. If it says scam, just avoid it.
If
if it
scam.
if it says warning
Noted.
scammers, they be scamming people.
Let me see. I will keep that in note. If there is such thing as a scam call, I will immediately either hang up or simply. And is that is the right term to end a call, right? Hang up,
Yeah.
because there's other terms where we use. There's another reason we call hang up, and it's well, not exactly for phones.
Well, there's many terms for different things, so it makes sense. Do you know how to use? Do you know which button to use?
I'm assuming this middle red one is the
Yeah, that's
one
that.
that ends the call.
Yeah.
I
So I
see.
guess I'll see you later. I guess.
Uh, Well, thanks again for the info,
No
whenever your
welcomes.
name was. We'll talk again. Well, I'll probably call again some other time.
Okay.
Maybe you'll call, but we'll see what happens. If anything, it was nice to at least hear a kind voice,
Oh well,
at least for the
have
first
the good
time
times, I
in this
guess.
place. Mm. And I shouldn't keep you for too long. You probably have much more important things than listening to an old piglin just rambling on.
It's okay. I'm just working on my job and stuff. It's fine.
All right then.
See ya.
I won't intervene. You you do what you have to do with your job. I'll be here.
Okay.
Googly. I think I have found what you were previously talking about when you had said look something up.
Yeah. That usually it's that or Firefox on devices. Yes.
I have not found the fiery fox, but I will be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, the Firefox. It's usually more on
Yes.
PCs and computers. I think most of the time. It's a
I
bigger
see.
phone. Basically, I guess.
I'm already losing myself in those new words. I have to say this googly that you told me to look for, it is astounding.
Yep, it is.
I've looked at the term of airplane, and there's so many various forms.
Yep, there's many forms for them.
But what
There's so many. There's too many.
very many. What what they do all happen to have in common, however, is that they seem to have very flat surfaces on either side of
That's how
the
it's used with aerodynamics so they can fly in the air.
aerodynamics.
It means basically air. It's basically the figuring out of how to fly with machines.
Flying.
And you're in it.
My goodness, I would love to fly. To see the sky from to see the ground from the sky's view. looking down upon the forests and the plains and the rivers and that reminds me, rivers. These rivers are no longer of boiling lava. They are of cold, cool, very the water here. It's water.
Yep, it's water. And, have you had a rain shower yet? For wherever you're
Oh,
at?
I don't believe I
It's
have.
basically when the water comes down from the sky for a little bit to help give the
Water
plants
can come
energy.
down from the sky too?
Yes.
Why didn't I come here much earlier? I could have avoided so much from the nether. Oh my goodness, it's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's fine.
And so, oh, do you know what snow is?
I don't.
Do you know the term
What?
ice?
Ice. Such an odd word.
Well, basically
Ice.
it's colder and stuff, but it's fun to make stuff out of. It usually comes
Hmm,
most in winter and late fall.
I see. I'll have to. There's so much more to this world than I really had thought. I.
It's fun exploring stuff here. There's different.
I've been exploring around here and there, slowly improving a bit of my own home as well.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's just so much around me. There's
Well, I
so
guess
many
going
vast.
from one dimension to another the first time can be funny to see stuff. I remember once the first time I went where I'm from, we found a nether portal one time when we was really little. Not the best idea, but we went through it, and that was something to see.
Yeah, the Nether is not very exciting once you've been there and then came back. Especially if you've already lived there for so long.
I've actually lived there for a little bit at one point, just because of
Really?
stuffs.
Well, I can tell you about it. That the place there is not a lot. There's not a lot of stable ground anywhere to build or save to build
Yeah,
safely.
so like it is just you just got hope for your best while you're just walking in between stuff if you're trying to do fast travel.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like be careful, it won't fall that did go good.
Yes, there's always the risk of falling into lava or just falling flat on your face from goodness knows how many meters.
Oh, there's so many meters of stuff. There's big
But
mountains
regardless,
in the overworld too. They're really pretty.
one day I want to climb to the very top of a mountain and just
There's a few
see.
mountains where I'm at right now. Actually, there's a little bit of snow up there. There's a few
Goodness,
snow golems, I think.
there's just so much in the overworld that there isn't in the Nether.
Well, if you have any more questions just about just overworld stuff, I guess you can call me if you want. I guess since I've seen a lot
Wait,
of it.
wait. Before you go, actually, before we end this call, I need to tell you something that I also found amazing.
What's the amazings?
You had told me about apps upon
Yeah,
my phone.
yeah,
I was looking through some of them, and I happened to have pressed one,
yeah.
and it had a similar number pad to what it would have for when I would start the call. But instead of just numbers, there's symbols.
Like a calculator? Does it have like no?
That
Is there an
that
X, like a plus, and a stuff like that?
it's I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's a calculator.
There's an X, there is a sideways X, there's a line with two dots, There's a singular line. There's two lines. There's there's so much. I what does it mean? What
Basically,
does this
it's for like
calculator mean?
calculating mass quantities of numbers.
Numbers, quantities. I'm sorry, I'm already still learning so much just from everything.
Like, say if you put 2 plus 2, it would put 4. It's like a more basic way of saying it's counting, but a lot more.
The two, and then which one is the plus again? Is it is it the X or the side?
The X, but it's maybe turn a little bit up. It's like turned a little bit.
I see what you mean. It's the sideways X that looks like a cross, like a sort of cross.
In some languages, it's also known as an X at the same time too.
It is. It's odd how simple shapes can make so many different symbols.
Yeah.
And so
and like the equal sign is like the 2 lines, and then you hit enter.
Oh. So then the 2 and the 2 do indeed add up to 4.
Say if you like had to, like just it's like if you count it like it's like if you count it's like that. That's like a simple way to like do that. If you have multiple things, you want to see how much stuff you had of something.
My mind has been utterly shattered at this realization. My goodness.
There's you can look up on Google how to use some of the apps if you're confused.
Yes, the Googly.
Yes,
is it truly referred to as Google?
Yeah.
I see. Google.
Nowadays, I think it's more run on magic than technology sometimes because of their systems breaking, but
that's understandable. I suppose magic really is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's in the Nether, I suppose it would make sense it would spread to the overworld somehow.
Yeah, it can be interesting. Sometimes it evolves into different things, and it's funny.
Yes. I'm sorry to say, but I may have to go. I need to figure out more. I need to understand everything.
Have the good luck.
I will. Thank you again, voice.
Okay.
Thank
you. I guess the voice is away.
Hello? Hello? I have so much more to talk about. I have Googled so many terms, so many things. I've figured out so much. I've learned how words are pronounced. I've learned different meanings of different feelings of so many things.
Well, that's cool.
I even found out that after I looked up certain topics, there were certain videos I could watch that explained further in detail.
Oh, did you find YouTube?
YouTube.
Does the icon on the app that may show up is like a red box?
It's like a red box with a sideways triangle play?
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. YouTube. Goodness, there's so much. There's so much for me to explain that I don't know if I even can explain it. First things first, I just realized ever since we started talking, we've never officially introduced each other.
Oh yeah. Oh dear, I just realized that.
It's all right. It's something that sometimes everyone tends to forget. I even tend to forget because I kind of was just excited in the moment that, this phone is just working.
The phone works. The device. Such a device.
regardless of that, I think it's time we make some. I think it's time that we actually make introductions.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think. Anyways, I'm sorry.
it's okay. I can.
I am my real name is far too long for me to try and
It's
spell out.
understandable. It's understandable. Just if you have a
So I
shorter
think
name, we can do that.
I do have a moniker that is only a small part of my real name, but it's short enough to be easy to understand. And I mean, it also aligns well with certain other objects.
That's cool.
So, if anything, if my real name may be too long, so please, my you can simply call me Fan.
Okay, fan. Um, I have a short name, I guess. Pinka Tessa. The original last name is in a different language, so it's hard to speak it without making it sound weird.
I understand. Pink, pink, pink.
Yeah.
I never would have figured that my one friend was named after a color.
Yeah.
Though I'm not against it. I mean, you are my one friend after all.
Yeah, I don't even remember how I got. I just remember someone called me that. I don't even know if I had a name before that. They're like, oh yes, this. I'm like, okay.
I see. Well, I think it's still fitting. I think it fits you. At least with how I hear.
Okay. Let me see.
If I were to tell you my full name, it would be far, far far too annoying to try and explain the naming of it,
It's
how many
okay.
syllables there are.
I've seen a lot of
That's
people
why I
have
like
very
to
long
shorten it.
names they've just shortened because their parents could come up with something, so they're like, let's have multiple. Let's go.
See, my father, only had granted me my first name and had given me his last name.
So I guess it's a bunch
Because
of middle names, I guess, then?
yeah, I'm not against it by any means. The first name I wish was just a little shorter, or at least easier to understand, but I take his surname in pride,
Well, that's good.
knowing that as how he was to me. He knew how to how do I explain this? He knew how exactly to raise someone like me
Oh, that's good.
into someone with a lot of potential.
Well, that good.
Even though I'll be honest, I do often miss him, but his guidance and his words
Oh,
keep me going.
Did he go off on like a quest or something, or for his job or something?
Ironically, as he was, no. He was simply he had simply grown old and had eventually just peacefully passed in his sleep.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, maybe his ghost is watching over you and just making sure you're okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
At least I'm certain that my father did not have to suffer during any bit of that.
Yeah.
He went as he would have wanted. Despite being one of the tougher, meaner brutes of then, he still had a kind and gentle soul. I
That's good.
appreciate that most about him. I'm sorry.
It's
I've just started
okay.
reminiscing about him, and it's
It's
starting to
okay.
get me emotional.
It's good to
Um,
reminisce about things.
I just wonder what he would think of me now if he
I'm
if
sure
you
he's
saw me
happy
where I
you're
was.
discovering new things at least.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Pink. Maybe you're right. But enough about me. What's been going on with you?
I've
How are
been,
things?
I guess, in my town just doing the normal stuff. I've been doing my multiple jobs, working and stuff, and checking on the neighbors and stuff, and
Well, that's good to hear. Good to say that things are going well.
like some stuff's been rough lately, but I'm sure hopefully things will get better. Hopefully. There's always the hopefully.
Some Usually when things get rough, there's always something that does help to make things better.
Yeah.
Usually if something bad happens, something good also happens to counteract it.
Yep.
Every it's it's a phrase I just learned. To every action there is a reaction.
Yep. The laws of Isaac Newton, I think that's the right one. There's so many laws from that one guy.
The first law, I believe.
Yeah. That guy made so many laws when an apple hit his head. He became a
He's
Sir
been
Knight after that.
yes, I did.
I got a
Quite
lot of
annoyed.
records and stuff in my house, I think, of different stuff from really olden times. Different things.
Yes, old times.
At least as far back as the Bronze Age.
Ron.
Um, it's very far back. If you look it on Google, I guess. If you need to figure out how long back it was.
I was not just I don't know how exactly alive I was or have been. Simply because, well, how do I say this? We Peglins don't exactly have a normal lifespan of what rumored humans may have. Some humans live up to around 100, and
Yeah.
well, us piglins live up to about, at most? What's the right way to define this?
Just, is it long time, short time, if that helps, I guess?
I've seen and heard of stories of piglins that have lasted as old as a millennia.
Oh, that's
I've
cool.
heard, I've heard that piglins can live, if undisturbed, piglins could live on to be about 1,000 to maybe 1,200 human years.
Oh, that's cool.
I say human years because we calculate time differently where we're from.
We have actually multiple species of things. So there's humans and just a bunch of other creatures. Here. There's a few humans in this town and a few different things here, I think. I think I saw. I don't know what the thing was the other day. And also, there's an Enderman that lives here. Have you seen Enderman before?
Ah, yes. Endermen. They're not nuisances. They're very neutral with us. We've seen them around here and there. They often inhabit the warp forests more
Yeah.
often.
They're just
They're
chilling
not.
and they get a little shy sometimes. So I just put it helps sometimes if they don't
I
like
personally
if you put a pumpkin on your head. Have you found those yet here?
pumpkins. I
It's orange and
believe
round.
so. Orange and round.
You
I
could carve it like a thing in to see through it, so you don't scare them.
I see. That's an interesting technique. I should look to that. For most of my tech, mostly what I've done with when I'm around them is I never truly look them in the eye.
Yeah, that
I
helps
just
too. Just look down at your feet, say a warm hello, and just be respectful and stuff, because they get a little
of
shy and
course,
nervous.
well, of course. I never truly instigate them unless They, for some reason, somehow are instigated by me. And,
Yeah, I just go back in
well,
my house and go back to work. It's like I'm fine. Hope they don't teleport in here.
I've seen my fair share of docile Endermen and hostile Endermen.
Mm.
And let's just say that, considering that I'm still here on this call, I have yet to fall to an Enderman for certain.
Oh, that's cool.
It
Let me see.
really does make me wonder how many more different things
Oh, there's
exist.
plenty. What animals do you know of so far? I guess, or just species.
Animals, right. I have a small I have a small gathering of what seems to be wolves. They seem to follow my lead essentially everywhere I go. If I don't have them sit if I don't have them sitting in a
Oh yeah,
specific spot.
yeah. Like wolves. They're one of the oldest types of animals that have been around, with like goats and a few other things.
They always tend to be so they always tend to be so loyal as well. It's like as if no matter what you do with them, they just quite simply they just quite simply adore you
Yeah,
without any question, without any sense of
yeah. They're
doubt
good
in their
friends.
mind.
A lot of them like live in like caves and caverns sometimes, usually in packs.
Yes. They appear most everywhere in the wild, and I'm glad I have a few of them.
That's cool. Some of
There is
them,
also
sometimes the relatives that are still in the woods may come visit sometimes and say hi to their relatives to let you know about that, so they're not attacking. They're just visiting their relatives.
that's understandable. They're very defensive of their own kind, and I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah,
They often do travel in packs. Mm.
like the good
But
old
other than
caravans of the old days of people just traveling to see the new lands. Yep.
indeed.
Let's see
I
the filings, and there we go. I got this file. Sorry, I'm just
I
trying to correct
believe
some files. My workplace.
I believe the only other group of animals that I do have is a small family of horses.
Either that's cool.
I've taken to naming a few of them.
Oh, what are their names?
One of them, one of my most proudest horses. His name is Reginald.
That's cool.
Yes, and he has a lovely mare named Bertha.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm. And I believe they've since had a son, which I've taken to call Philip.
Oh, that's cool. That's a little happy family of the horses. I think there's a term, but I don't remember. There's so many terms for different types of families, of species. There's too many. Oh, great.
Yeah.
More
There's
throughout here. Let me see.
there's different names for many different things.
There's
Sometimes
so
there's
many.
different names for the same thing, and it's baffling.
I guess you'll be in the call around here since it's almost 15. It's 16 minutes long already.
I hear you, but let's send it off properly though, at least.
Yeah. Let me see.
Ah. But regardless, I believe that's about the animals I have here. They're
That's
essentially
cool.
my only friends. Oh, wait, no, I almost forgot. I happen to have found a pair of cats.
Oh, the cats. There's
I had only found them as of recently, so they're still getting more
a few
familiar with
weeks
my
ago. There was
home.
like a plus population of cats. They went everywhere where I'm at. So I guess wherever
Yeah,
you're at, that it's happening too. Maybe that'd
I
be fun.
believe so. I will say this. I looked up the term snow, and there's other terms for that, as such as sleet.
Yeah,
Did you know that sleet is a sort of combination of snow and rain
yeah.
that
It can be very
doesn't part
slippery.
it? that doesn't actually harden into hail. It's just
Yeah.
sleet. And that's what I took to naming one of the cats.
Oh, that's cool.
Hmm. And I took to naming the other cat, uh, naming him an old friend of mine from a long, long ago past.
Oh, that's cool.
His name is Argent, but other than my two cats, my three horses, and my small platoon of dogs, of wolves.
The
Dogs
wolf.
is such a weird term. I prefer to call them wolves anyway. I don't know why certain people call them dogs.
There's they have a close cousin species that are called that, and they look pretty similar. So it's hard to tell sometimes. And there's also
Sometimes.
foxes and coyotes. They're all in the same group. Like if they were all like cousins in a weird way.
And so, yeah, there really is so much more to this world. Maybe one day I'll even find out where the Endermen themselves come from.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would.
They like to travel and chill. They're the travelers of the world, I guess.
Yeah, travelers. I'm sorry, I just thought of something for a moment, is
Oh,
all.
what did you think?
Just, just of something from my past again.
Oh, it's okay. Yes.
Let's just say that it was quite simply surreal, dreamlike even.
Yeah.
But it's nothing you'll need to worry about.
Ah,
Um,
it's okay.
I
Sometimes
suppose,
we all
I
have
suppose.
those.
Hmm, it is. But other than that, I suppose I have really nothing else to add on. I've got nothing really new to discuss further other than what I've already found so far.
Yeah.
But if anything, thank you, Pink, for at least just listening to me rambling on.
Oh, it's okay.
Just talking about all this that you probably find rather mundane, but I find just amazing.
It's okay. It's fun helping people and things. It's kind of one of my other jobs that it's kind of unofficial, but that's what I do.
I bet you do a great job at your job. At all of them.
Okay. Oh, great. There's more files. Oh, there's so many files. I need to sort so many files. I'm so sorry. I'll see you later. Bye.
It's alrighty. Goodbye then, Pink. We'll talk later.